So Arkansas, comes in having won 3 out of the last 2 in league play, and really could have won all 5. They own wins over number 14 Michigan, number 12 Kentucky at Rupp, which is it was a great win for Coach Calipari returning back to Kentucky. Arkansas is talented enough and good enough to beat anybody in our league, and they've obviously proven it. And Boogie Flang was a great point guard for them, who's no longer here, but all it did was allow DJ Wagner to move over from the off guard to the point guard position where he's elite. And right now, obviously, Arkansas is playing, some of their best basketball. Thiero is a kid that came in here last year for Kentucky and was physically dominant on the front line. And Janelle Davis was a kid that transferred from Florida Atlantic that played in the Final Four a couple years ago, and he was their best player. And so this is a very talented team that's playing well right now that obviously needs something a little more to make sure that they're in the big dance. And so our guys understand that Arkansas understands the prize that is on these 40 minutes, and what a win for them would do, just basically probably take them from being where they are, last 4 in, first 4 out, or wherever that, and put them in the tournament. So it's obviously a lot on the line, and we're trying to play to continue to be in a position to win a championship.
Maybe I was going to ask you, do you have to do anything specific? You got such a mature team. Do you just sort of let them be them in terms of coming down from Alabama and facing a hungry team, or is there something specific that you feel like you need to get across to them to get them focused?
Well, I mean, one of the things we just really honest with them. And after the win at Alabama, I wanted the guys to go back to campus. We knew they were going to be the Toomer's corners will have been rolled. We'd get back in time in order for those guys to kind of go out a little bit, enjoy the victory. I thought most of the guys were on campus on Sunday at the baseball game, at the women's basketball game, and just letting the fans kind of love on them, and they were loving on them. But in the Alabama press conference, Janai Broome talked about Arkansas. We talked about Arkansas Saturday night, right after the game, and so they understand. They understand. Look, they understand who Arkansas personnel is. They understand a bunch of those guys at Arkansas were big names in the portal that could have gone anywhere, and they went to play for Cal at Arkansas. They truly understand that, and they understand how talented they are, and they play great defense, and they play really hard, and offensively, the stuff they run really matches their personnel.
Bruce, Arkansas started 0-5 in the league, and like you said, they've been hot since. Can you notice anything that switched for them? Anything that you saw that kind of flipped there?
Well, I think I just said with Boogie Fland out, all of a sudden Wagner gets to his best position. Now all of a sudden, Davis has to score. Sometimes less can be more, and so you take out one great piece, and they've got all that talent, and now all of a sudden, okay, now it's from a standpoint of just chemistry. There's more for everybody, and the kids have done a great job responding, and I think getting off to a bad start is just simply a function of again, some of the teams that let you play in this league. It's a grind.
Bruce, after the Alabama game, y'all now have 6 guys averaging double figures. How important is it just to have such balanced scoring like that?
Well, I think it's important, and I think our bench play is really important. And so whether or not Tahad comes off the bench every game, and is certainly he or Chaney are candidates for 6th man, of the year, and then Chaney comes in, and you don't drop off when either Janai or Dylan, come out, and whether it's Chris Moore or whoever else it is, the guys are ready. And there has been really good balance, and one of the reasons why our assist turnover numbers are so good is I think our guys do a good job of sharing the ball and recognizing each other's strengths. And of course, we play through the post, we play through Janai Broome, and we play through the interior first, And then he's such a great passer. He's our leading assist man. That it's very much an inside-out, shared offensive philosophy.
Bruce Avicic has really come on this season as a shooter for Arkansas. What kind of challenges does matching up with somebody with his length, who can shoot that well on the perimeter?
Who's that now?
Avicic, Big Z.
Oh yeah, Big Z he's a unicorn. He's very unique, and he is their best three-point shooter, both in makes and percentage. And now that he's starting, Cal's doing a lot of things to get him clean looks, and if he can see it, he can make it. And the other thing too is you can be up on him, but because he's 7'2", if he's able to get that ball up in his carriage before you press up on him, he's getting a clean look. And so yeah, it's a real weapon.
Bruce, it was announced today that Denver got national recognition. You talked to the Alabama game about people needing to recognize him more. Just his playing, him getting more eyeballs on him and rewarded for what he's been doing.
It reminds me a little bit again, and this is always the way it is. I've always voted for the Player of the Year in every league I've been in. The best player on the best team, not the best player on the fourth best team, who may be better than the best player on the best team, but that player never got my vote. Nothing wrong with that. That's just always what I've done. The best player on the best team. So if we win the league, and at the end of when they vote at the end of the regular season, I'm saying if we win the league, we got a long way to go. And Janai Broom is, he to me that's what it says. Denver had a great week, but Denver's had great weeks before. It's just that he had a great week on a team that won at Vandy and at Alabama, and the guys that he obviously was involved in guarding, Sears, and then I believe it's Edwards for Vanderbilt. Great players that we pointed this out before, that did not have as big a nights as they're used to. Oftentimes, when you look at the ballot for the National Defensive Player of the Year, it'll be all the shot blockers and all the guys that have got steals, and the writers or people, and they go to the stats and say, well, who and the story that we've been trying to tell is that we think we got some really good defensive guards. Denver is our leader in that category. We've been winning. We've been talking about it, and I'm very proud of them for getting that well-deserved recognition. That's huge to be recognized as of all the teams in the country to be recognized as the National Player of the Week. Nationally, it's tremendous.
Coach, Chad Baker didn't miss a beat playing banged up. Will he return to the starting lineup this week?
We'll see how he does today. He had a good practice yesterday. Looked really good. I'll talk to him about it. But he looked yesterday. He looked I want to say healthy. So I hope that's the way. I hope he feels that way again today. We'll see how he looks.
Bruce, you said earlier this season that you guys could lose any SEC game here at home just because of how good the league is. But to be chasing a championship and get 3 straight at home here, I mean, how big of a boost is that for y'all, especially knowing the support y'all get?
Honestly, I can only see this game here in front of us, Arkansas. I honestly can. The last 2 teams now, all right, our last, I believe, let's just say 2 out of our last 3 home games, Tennessee, we won that one on a buzzer, like a last possession kind of thing. And we lost to Florida, pretty good. So don't look ahead and don't take anything for granted. I'm just telling you, it's not a good idea.
Coach, in the games leading up to the Alabama game, you said that your team might not have been playing like the number 1 team in the country, and that changed during the Alabama game. How do you make sure that the team maintains that competitive edge and plays like the number 1 team down the stretch of what's been a really grueling schedule?
The point I was trying to make to my guys was not only the way we played or the way we prepared, the way we acted, the way we behaved, the way we honored the game with how we took care of the ball. Teams that are thought to be one of the best teams in the country needs to take care of the ball. They got 18 points off of turnovers last year. I don't think they got that many this year. And that was important because Alabama can heat you up a little bit and bother you defensively, and our guys handled that. And so, sometimes you got to act and play and prepare and carry yourself like you belong, like you've been there before.
Coach, Auburn's had many great players in its history. Excuse me. With how he's played these last 2 seasons, where would you rank Janai Broom amongst the greatest players in Auburn's history, like Charles Barkley and Chuck Person?
Yeah, well, that's all to be determined, and you really aren't going to be able to write that chapter until the last chapter of his book's written, and that's to be determined. He's clearly, if this team can continue to have the success that we've had, then he absolutely has a chance to go down as one of our all-time great players. I've already said that, again, same thing. If we continue to be able to find ways to win and he continues to stay healthy and play well, he'll be right there for National Player of the Year. And he's right there in the discussion of, name me a better transfer over a 3-year period than Janai Broom in the country. But again, these things all are still to be determined.
Bruce, I saw a video going around about the team embracing Aiden Holloway after the game. Did you get to speak with him, and how did that go?
I did not. Other than just congratulating him in the line.
I want to ask you about Tahad. Just that game gets tight there in the second half. They make that comeback, and y'all get the ball in his hands and let him go to work. We've seen this throughout the year, but for a freshman to do that in that moment, just how special is that
Yeah.
for a guy like him?
Well, I mean, we felt like we could mix in some transition. Chaney Johnson had a couple of rim runs that were big. And, Tahad's shot was in a fast break situation. Early in the game, Janai Broom had a transition fast break situation. So we had 4 or 5 big buckets in transition. When you're playing a good team like Alabama, that might have been the best shot we could have gotten. Now, Chaney Johnson was down there on the block. We didn't have great rebounding position, but we had a guy down there, and we want our guys to feel like in that situation, you're clean, shoot it.
About a month ago, you kind of said that you thought Chaney Johnson was going to start popping threes more and more, and against Alabama, he went 2 of 4 from deep. Have you kind of seen that more from him?
Well, that's not really fair. You can't really give me a lot of credit because, I do help design the offense and help call the plays. So, I mean, the fact that he was going to shoot a few more, I might have had some inside information on that. I just know how hard Chaney works, and I just know how prepared he was, and I do feel like, Janai making 2 and Chaney making 2 were huge as far as, what it does for your offense. It's like Big Z knocking down 2 or 3 for Arkansas. It just opens the lane up, and it makes everything you do better offensively when your bigs can stretch the defense like that.